Ooh. All right, now, Trey, folks, 7-Eleven, the Deuce, and the Nine. Hoover Hey to the coach enthusiasts, to the Hoover Knights, to the Hoover Collective, and to the people, because we are always touching bases with the people. That's something we would like to have a mainstay on this Get Out, man. I'm here. Been on the phone, man, chopping up with Hoover Joe, man, trying to get things situated on this laptop. I'm not I'm novice, man, when it comes to this technology, man. A lot of this stuff I don't understand. I've been out long enough to understand it, but just haven't taken time to do that, man. There's a lot on my plate I'll be dealing with that I think is far more important to some extent. But here I am, man, and I hope everyone is here with me, tapping in or will be tapping in. I appreciate it. All right, Larray, I see you. Top of it as well. Top of it to you as well. Um, yeah, man. With Hoover Joe, man, we chopping it up, and I swear, man, I say, Joe, 7:15, I'm going home because I got to get, doing what I'm doing, what I like doing. We just got caught up trying to get this app on the laptop, man, and it finally happened, but time ran out. Uh, Forgot to call the wife. Hey, man, I made it here. I'm safe. Everything is everything. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that to say some of y'all understand how that go, man. When you don't tap in on time, it's hey, you gonna get you get that lip service, and it's appreciated. I love her for it, man. Nonetheless, what it do? What it do, Lady Lee? I see you, Buttercup. I see you. Appreciate you. Appreciate your presence. Yes, ma'am. All right, Klaus. Peace to the chat, bro. Glad you're up in here. Glad you're up in here, man. It's a lot going on, man. And I'm gonna keep it like I keep it, man. I'm not gonna, I don't delve into a lot of this BS, man. Um, like I said, man, that's not our space, man. I don't even want to, you know, harp on it too long, man, because I'll mess around and say something I don't want to say, I don't need to say, I shouldn't say. So, but I'll say this: if y'all watching social media, man, this shit is just stupid. It's stupid. It's a lot of stupid stuff. So we're gonna leave that where it is, man, and let's do our thing. Conscious mind, what it do, loved one? Let's go. Let's go. Like I said, lots going on, man. I had a couple of things, man, from last Thursday. One that struck me and it kind of stuck with me, man. A sister had got in the chat, and she had, it was almost like a bit of advice she was giving me pertaining to, just history and our understanding in terms of who we are, where we were, what I'm saying, before Africa, after Africa, or whatever the case may be. I think the conversation was along the lines that um before we were so-called in bondage here in North America, we had already been here for millennium. You know what I mean? Uh, Her response to that was, the sister. I'm paraphrasing. It was, to me, not to be misled by pseudoscience. And I asked her, and I hope she's listening, because if she is, I would like her to come back into the chat and break it down for me so we can express this to the people. You guys more than likely will see it, and we can have that conversation amongst other, topics and conversations. But I wanted her to understand something in terms of, how, not just how I view our history and, that the diaspora of us coming from Africa and migrating all over the world. We had done that before anybody. I heard it said, this was last night, that, Africa, we made Africa. Africa didn't make us per se. You know what I mean? We made the world. We are not just the dirt of the world, but just, we populated the earth. You know what I mean? And everything that after us is after us. It's never before us. They were never before us. We are the cream of the crop. That said, and I'm saying that, man, unapologetically. It is what it is, man. But to that sister, and I went to the chat to try to get her name, and in the comments she made, it was gone. I guess because it was at the ass end of us getting out of here. But hey, here we are. Again, we were here. We were here before so-called slavery, bondage, or whatever the case may be. Go to South America, man. Go to Tennessee. There are artifacts there that have been here way before the so-called indigenous people. That's a political term also, and we need to research that so you understand what that really means. It's political. But we had already been here. When they got here, we were here. They sat down with us and worked out treaties, so that they could be here, so forth, so on, whatnot. Um, yeah, man, we got history, man, all over the world, all over the world, not just the continent of Africa, Alkebulan, not just North America, Asia, Europe, you name it, Australia. There we are, you know, there we are. All you got to do is just look at the people, go deep into these lands and check out the history, the photographs, what they share in terms of what was there millennium. We're talking about thousands of years, man. This is not no made up stuff. And I'm not being swayed by pseudoscience to think that, we are the cream of the crop, or, we wasn't this and that. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. Yes, we are, So get a bar of that. Get a bar of that, man. Get involved in that. That way, when we discuss this stuff, if it's something I don't know, like I said, I touch bases with the people just to get to the know. I think that's why we have this. It ain't just for me, it's for all of us. We do this to get into the know, to know what we need to know. Now, that's one thing. Now, I used to have conversations with older brothers in the joint, and I was told once by an older brother. He wasn't from Hoover, he was just an older brother. I respected him, I dealt with him daily. He said, man, he said, Bub, knowledge is one thing. It's just, see, once you acquire knowledge, it's something you acquired. It's just one thing. He said, but it's not really, knowledge is not useful until we apply it. You know what I mean? So we can know some shit. We can know a gang of things, man. But it's really nothing. It does nothing for us if we don't apply it, if we don't utilize the knowledge that we acquire. That makes sense. That's like a skill. You learn a skill, man. It's just a skill that you learn if you don't utilize it to your benefit. You know what I mean? I think that makes all the sense in the world, man. So I said that to say, yeah, man, knowledge is something we attain, and it's nothing but knowledge if we don't use it, if we don't utilize it. It's just nothing but knowledge. It doesn't really carry us or helps us or to progress or to better our lives, in terms of what's going on in the world that concerns us. It's just knowledge if we don't use it. That's it. There was another issue I had the other day with a brother, and the word trust came up. No, yeah, the word trust came up. And it was put to me in this way. He said, man, look, bud, man, trust is just a word. You know what I mean? It's just a word. People, trust is based upon supposedly facts, and things that we know to be true or whatever the case may be. But he said, trust, man, trust don't do nothing for the individual, not ideology, not psychology, in the mind, mentally, you know what I mean? Because a lot of us, we trust that, for instance, there are two things that are going to be the result of game banging, right? We trust this, that you're going to go to jail. You may end up shot and paralyzed, or you may end up dead. We trust that to be the truth. However, we don't, it doesn't stop us. It doesn't stop us knowing this truth. Excuse me, truth, not trust, truth. Knowing this truth, it doesn't stop us from doing a lot of inane, idiotic or stupid, things we do. It doesn't stop you. Man, you could look, the truth of the matter is you just saw 3-4 homies unlived based upon their activities, based upon what they do in the land or in their lives, right? That culture. The truth is, most end up dead or in prison. But it don't stop dudes from being involved in that shit, You still end up victim to this truth. That's some crazy shit to me, man. It took me and a lot of others, to have to go through the truth of the matter in terms of this culture and what it offers us to learn that, wait, man, damn, it wasn't just truth, it was real. It was real, in real time, it's real for a lot of us. We had to go through some stuff. It didn't stop us from acting the way we acted out, from doing the things we did, saying the things we said, or thinking the way we thought. Truth don't really, it's just a word, man, that again, it's like having a skill. It's like knowledge. We're not applying truth to our lives to make us better individuals, better people, you know. And I think that's something we need to start addressing, man. All right, there is truth, but it doesn't mean nothing if it's not changing how one thinks, how one uses mind or interacts in society or with his own people. We got to get to that point, man. You know, like I said, there's a lot going on in my head right now, and I'm here though. I love the fact that I'm here in spite of, black man and black woman's, lives are, it's a challenge. I have to say that. It's a challenge every day. We dealing with this shit every day. You got some people out here now that being exposed to how shit really go, and they don't understand it. They're trying to figure out how to deal with what's going on in life every day when we've been dealing with this shit every day. We've been dealing with it. This is why we know how to deal with it. This is why we've overcome a whole lot of shit, because we've been in this fight from day one. But the truth is, a lot of people ain't gonna get it. A lot of people ain't gonna get it, man. You know, like I said, until it's too late. And that's sad. That's sad. But again, man, I'm here, man, and you know how we do. This is touching bases with the people, man. The people, come on in, man. Let's chop it up, man. Let's get to something significant. Again, I don't want to touch, or I don't want to deal with a lot of that BS that's been going on last week. Damn, this shit is sad, man. But it is, it exists. Stupid is as stupid does, Lorraine Sense says. Couldn't have said it any better than that. Trust me. What's up with it, Boss Claus? Yeah, man. I'm here, man. Verse. H is on me. Yeah. All right, Groovin Land, I think that's what it is. Groovin Land Champ says the Omax. And the Omax, yeah, we know them to be what? A tribe of people, man. Not only that, but they left all kind of artifacts and everything that pointed to or described us. They didn't, those giant heads that they got in South America, all over Mexico and other places in South America, don't resemble nobody but us. And that shit is old as Methuselah. Been there a long time. A long time. Mansa Musa and Queen Sheba visited South America a long time ago. Like that, a lot of people don't know, man. We was selling the oceans, man, before people even knew how to build a raft. Even understood that wood floats in the ocean. They didn't know. So we touched every corner of this thing, man. That's how we're everywhere. We're everywhere as a result, man, of our knowledge, using the knowledge we attain to work for us. Nobody does it better, man. Boss Claus says, yeah, I'm up in Burbank with the kids from the academy, man. Damn, I wish I'd have known. I'd love to have come through there, man. I would have loved to have come through there, man, and checked out your get down, man, with the youth, man. I think that'd be something progressive. That'd be something, I think, positive to put on the channel, man. Show what you're doing, show what you're doing, man. That type of shit is inspiring. It makes, or it gives others this, this desire, man, this push, this oomph to want to do something positive, especially when they see positivity. It's a good look, bro. It's a good look. Money Tree Hollins, what it do, man? So Money Tree Hollins say facts. We can make everybody. No one can make us. White can't make black. Asian can't make black. Real spit. Black can make anything under the sun, though. That's the truth, homie. At work. All you got to do is pay attention. That shit actually is a fact. It's a fact, man. Yeah, Hoof Street, man. Hollering at Boss Claus, man. Lorraine say, hit that like button, subscribe and share. Real spit, sis. Real spit. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe to the live. Also coming to the comments, man. Tap somebody on the shoulder through the cell phone. Hey, man, check this get down out, man. This is what we doing, man. Conscious Mind, what's happening, loved one? How you do, man? He said, let's address why certain cats or podcasters can find themselves reaching out to homies and are able to interview the homies as though they don't have a home of their own. Why aren't homies coming home? All right, conscious mind. Look, I said what I said, but I'm a part with this, homie. I'm gonna hit you with this. We're talking about it ain't even a bag, homie. You know, because the truth of the matter is there's no bag in this, man. You got to be on a no jumper level to get the real money. It's clout chasing, homie. It's dudes want to be seen. You know, dudes want to make a name for themselves, young and old. You know what I mean? And they'll go to any length to get it done. You know, uh, I've offered. You know, I've offered. Hey, man, this to get down. This was for us and others. My only caveat, my only condition, don't come on here disrespecting nobody. I don't get a damn about none of that, homie. I get it. Been there and done that. But this ain't for that. And so as a result of me saying that, dude's like, oh man, I can't really get them in there. I ain't gonna get that viral. I ain't gonna get them hits. I ain't gonna be viral if I gotta do it like that. So that's why no jumpers door is open. That table's open. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I don't know if I said this, man, but I'm like I say, I want to say what I'm gonna say, and I'm back off. I'm gonna back out of that conversation with you though, conscious mind. I'm like this, homie. You couldn't have, you cannot talk to me or talk about my family any old kind of way, or invite people to your table, your home, talk about my family, you know, in just so in disrespectful terms, and turn around and invite me to come sit at your table. Come on, man. I ain't got nothing to say to you about nothing, homie. You know, why would I do that? You know, the harm has already been done. The foul has already been committed. You know, just based on, I know, okay, you trying to play both ends between the middle. Why would I come on this get down with you and you didn't allow numerous people to come on here and say, F this, F them, F they did. Why would I, come on, homie? That don't make no sense. And I'm not, it can't be that serious with me, bro. Clout, no, no, homie. So it's a matter of ethics, homie, I think. You know, it's a matter of principles. You know, a lot of us lack principles, you know. Even me, there's certain issues, you know, in terms of principles, I still have to work on, but that ain't one of them. That ain't one of them, homie. You know, so why they do it, you know, they'll give you a spill, they'll give you a spin, you know, they'll cap, you know. But I'm telling them, I told them before they did it, hey man, this is home, homie. You know, this is home. And you ain't got to never feel threatened or nothing, homie. You know, just don't come on. We know what it is with Hoover, homie. You know, you ain't gonna never come on this get down like that, all right? You know, so there that go, bro. Um, you know, for the invitation is still open to those that want to come and sit down, man, and speak about something, man, that's positive, in spite of the negativity that they deal with daily. You know what I mean? Still welcome to come, man. For others, man, who already made their choice, door closed. And I mean that. I mean that, you know. We not like I say, man, we not chasing no bag here, man. I don't ask for nothing from the people, but to come and tap in, man. Conversation don't cost you nothing, man. Don't cost you nothing. I'm not asking for a dollar. I don't do none of that. And I know we got some homies like, nah, bud, hey man, charge. No, homie. Charge the people. What the fuck? We all in the same boat, man. I'm not gonna do that, bro. You know, but it's free. It's free to come and sit here, man, and talk about what really inspires you. And talk about, man, what you would like to accomplish in life, what your goals are, you know, and how this shit really affects you. Because like I said, man, I said this last week, there's no one in this game, in this culture, doing the shit they doing. And on that negative tip, that's so really okay with it, man. That is really okay with it. I don't think that, man. I don't trust that's the case, you know. Dudes got to think, man. You know, we have to start finding that square and stand on that square, man, of positivity, you know, righteousness, man, and productivity. That's what we got to do. All right. And, you know, so that said, man, hey, conscious man, I love you, homie. You know, we have our conversations. We're going to continue to have them. Um, Again, homie, you know, what we talk about, we could talk about, you know, out in the open. You know what I mean? As long as, like I said, and I say to everybody, it's above board. It's all respect, homie, you know? So I appreciate the comment, bro. All love. Boss Claw says, you can't really do much but to laugh at the ignorance. Yeah, man, but at the same time, excuse me, that don't that shit t- like like affect you in a messed up way when you see the ignorance? You know, don't it be like, oh man, we might laugh to stop feeling the hurt and the pain just looking at this shit. I don't even laugh, homie. It's just it's sad. It's disgraceful, homie. It's shameful. You know. Again, homie, I'm not throwing rocks and hide my hands. I was in the life. I was in the life, homie. I was one of the ones in life. So, I'm not being a hypocrite or two-faced it. I understand better than anybody about what I did, and how I contribute to this effect that we all witness every day. Mostly every black podcast that come on the internet is negative. More than likely it has something to do with that, man. Years ago, we created this thing. But I don't think that this is something that you can't prevent, that we can't put a stop to. And I suggested last week, one of the things I think we can do, man, as a unit, as a people, especially when we're talking about doing better for ourselves and despising what's really going on in the community, is stop watching that stuff. Tune out. Unsubscribe. Don't give them $5 no more to be a member. Why the hell you paying $5, man, to be a member of this bull crap, man? Every day, saying they put it out there. That $5, man, you're gonna get to see what the whoop said about whoop the whoop, the shit we don't even put on. Come on, man. We just adding to the mess. We just adding to the mess, man. But the ignorance, man, it's something that shouldn't be laughed at, Klaus. Real spit, bro. you know. And I'm sure that when you're dealing with them youths in that academy, man, you're not allowing ignorance, and you guys don't laugh at ignorance, whether it be in terms of understanding sports, sportsmanship, man, and just how to carry yourself as an athlete. You're not tolerating ignorance, you know. And ignorance, people, is not necessarily a negative thing. It's just the fact that we don't know. You just don't know something, you know. Our job then, for those who are ignorant, is to tell them, to lace them, put them in the know, you know. That's it. Not laugh, but put them in the know, man. Lace them. Let them know, hey, man, nah, that ain't cool. And this is why, you know. So there that is, man. Hoover Street, the representation of the homies on No Jumper was embarrassing and needs to be addressed. I'm just one man, and like I say, man, for the most part, you guys, I'm gonna tell you, I keep my peace, man, for a reason. I understand what's connected to all this shit, man. Them people connected to this shit, you know. And you can be right, man, 100 ways right, man. And lacing the ignorant about what's right and what's wrong. But depending on how you say it and how you go about doing it, could get you caught up in this mess. See, this thing, man, is multifaceted. It got so many different aspects to get us caught up, man. It's scary, you know. I ain't never been a scary dude, man. But one thing I ain't, hey, man, I ain't going back to jail, man. You know, so therefore I need to be mindful. I need to focus on the focus, man, to avoid, getting at ignorant individuals, some of which don't want to be laced, don't want to be told nothing, because in their minds, in their psyches, man, hey, man, this fame, man, this clout chasing, the bag and these pennies, I'm after that. That's all that matter. So you ain't get, for a lot of them, you can't really say nothing, you know. Sometimes it's like, hitting a brick wall, hitting your head up against the brick wall, I don't disagree, but I've said what I said about it, and I stand on that. It's shameful. It's disgraceful. It's disrespectful. We got all these sectors, man, Crip, Blood, and now possibly Hoover, and all this dissension on it. For what purpose? Don't we got enough BS going on the streets? Now you got to get on social media and do this stuff. Come on, man. Shit don't, it ain't cool. And again, man, like I said, man, my invitation has always been open to any homie, as long as that homie is straight across the board, homie. And that being, if you come sit down, man, you got to be respectful. You can't come in here with no BS, homie. That's it. That's all, man. But yeah, man, that conversation, yeah, it needs to be had. It should be addressed, man. How to go about doing it, I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself, man. But here we are, man. All right, all right, all right, all right. I see you. Conscious mind. Okay, it's not like the homies from Full Trade to the One Way don't know that we have our own platform. You know, are they getting paid? This is crazy. Again, I don't know, homie. I don't know. For those that going on these get downs and shit, I've talked to them personally, homie. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and I don't want nothing from them but respect. You're gonna come on to get down, man. You have to have this conversation. A lot won't come because again, they're not gonna be allowed to talk that yin yang, man. That's it. So where they gonna go? Where they go? They ain't came here, but that's fine. Wild bunch. Lemon Deuce Hoover, what it do, loved one? See, I get you there. Let's flip the script, man. Let's say my first car, man. I had a '65 Malibu Super Sport. My grandmother gave me. My grandmother gave me this car, man. Um, she gave me that car, man, in like it was like 79. Let's say 79, you know. And she told me, you're gonna be responsible for getting it up and running, putting it on the road. I might have been 15 going on 16, you know. But my black ass, here I am. I got an automobile at 16, but I ain't got the wherewithal to get it together. You know what I mean? To put it on the streets and shit. Boom, boom, boom. I end up going to camp, man. Camp in YA. By the time I come home, the car gone. Somebody went in the backyard, took the car, stole the car. I never got to drive it. I owned it, but I never got to drive it, man. After that, man, my first car was a Cutlass Supreme, man, a 1977 Cutlass Supreme, man. Still great and Quicksilver gray with the blue Phantom laces, sounds, had it hooked up and shit. That was I love that car, man. But again, I was an idiot. I was doing shit in that car and that didn't make a whole lot of sense, man. And I would have my family in that car, man. But that was my first car. I love that car, man. And you know, that's what it was, man. Okay, what was that? I just saw, okay. Lady Lee Buttercup, they're not coming home because they're not coming home because what they're talking about with the outsiders is not tolerated amongst real ones. All right, real spit. You know, truth to power, man. Again, truth to power. What's truth, man? What's truth? It's something we can tell them, but hey, it ain't enough to make them understand that, hey, man, this ain't the route to go, man. It ain't the route to go, man. But that's the route they're going. Again, you know, doors open. Doors open. Many invitations. Most of them you see only get many invitations. But hey, Al Thomas, what it do? Al Thomas say, I think they go on those platforms because there is no accountability. Hit the nail on the head, homie. On Under the Groove, they will be held accountable for their actions and words. Hit the nail on the head twice, you know? And that's just some real spit, bro. Like I said, and here's the reality, man. I've said this many times. We know people from everywhere. People from everywhere know us. There's a connection, man. Now that being said, yeah, we understand that a lot has transpired over the years, over the decades, man, to have this thing that we are witnessing now go down the way it's going down. However, if individuals would be accountable or held accountable. If in truth, no one was bigger than the program, what the program would look like? What would it look like, man? Will we have this? Like I say, every day is something new. And that's just messed up, man. It's like, man, brothers, man, that lost their way, man. You know? And again, like I said, I was one of the ones in early on, lost my way. And it took a whole lot for me to find my way back, but here I am. I'm back, man. I appreciate that I'm back. You know, I appreciate it, man, to the point where I'm willing to do this and talk about this rather than, look, man, it would be nothing for me to come on here and be doing that stuff. It would be nothing. And I wouldn't worry about no blowback or nothing, man. Cause come on. It would be nothing. And we talk about under the group, why it ain't got this many subscribers. Da, 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 da. If I went that route, be viral every time. But what am I contributing to? How am I making anything better, man? I'm adding to the mess. And I don't want to do that. But yeah, real spit out, Thomas. It's about accountability, bro. We got cats, on these get outs talking about their OGs, man. Nah. Accountability, homie. That's how you first get that title, that accreditation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Other than that, it's just lip service, homie. G-Rock, no jumper equals agents of chaos. Yeah. Yeah. The homie hit him up about that the other day, and he laughed about it. He kind of, no. You know what he doing? Wild Bunch, I want to say this, man. Wild Bunch, Lem Deuce Hoover say, shout out to Baby Wacko from 60. Saved my life in the Menlos one night. Love, respect forever. Just what I'm talking about. We find ways not just to get through, but people to help us get through. And we don't forget them. My thing is, homie, you got love for Baby Wacko like that. I'm telling you, when you make that transition, when you make that decision that this is a loved one, now this your bro, then you got to start your mind. It has to open up. It has to expand. It has to expand, homie, to the point where it's bringing in other individuals similar from that community or any other community related to where he's from. In terms of like, wait a minute, man. You probably say one of my homies from over there. You probably some from over here say one homie. You know what I'm saying? We all connected, man. Your ability, man, to recognize that, somebody else from somewhere else saved you against somebody else who they align with. Some powerful shit. Yeah. Can't forget that, homie. You pay that forward, though. That's how you really get down with that. You pay that forward, homie. You owe somebody. You owe somebody their life, homie. You know what I mean? Understand what I mean when I say that, homie. Chances go around, homie. Chances go around. Y'all probably heard the same people you see going up. It's the same old people coming down, man. Chances go around. Everybody gonna get a turn to represent something in the realest sense, man. In the realest sense, everybody gonna get a turn, man. It's like dying. Everybody gonna get a turn. Yeah, Wild Bunch, man. H's, homie. H's. S says in they setting themselves up for failure. Yeah. Like I say, man, y'all don't trust what you seen last 3 months with cats getting gaffled up, going through what they're going through. If come on, man. Social media is a trick bag, especially in that vein, in terms of how they getting down. That niche, that reactionary. And like I say, man, a lot of them they straddle the fence, talk a good one, but at the same time they throwing rocks, hiding their hands. You know what I'm saying? It's some cold shit, man. It's some cold stuff, man. Al Thomas, man, peace, Big Bub, and peace to the chat, man. Peace to you, bro. Like I say, I appreciate you guys always coming in and with something positive to say. Not just me, but any of us who watch, get down and read the chat or is in the chat. We see people coming in and they're staying. Every time we come up, they hear. And the things that are coming out their mouth, let's say this. Let's hope that let's trust that it ain't them just saying it, it's how they living. You know what I mean? It's how they living, man. You know, because that's gonna go even further than them saying it. So when you see somebody in the streets, recognize, man, that hey man, that person is just like you. That person is you, you know. So if you in the streets, you up against it, man, I'll tell you, man, I don't doubt for a minute, man, we want to be saved. We want to be redeemed. You know what I'm saying? We want to be greater than what we see ourselves being today. Ain't nothing wrong with that, homie. But you got to push for that. That's gonna take work. It takes real work, man. Terrence say, any plans to bring Joe back on? Yeah, man, we working on that right now. I just when I started the chat just a few minutes ago, me and Joe, we were going through, the system up in there, man, is kind of whack. You download the apps, you go through all this stuff, you got to pay your money to, do all this stuff, Then when you get ready to go in, there's a system failure, or your call was, he's waiting, or I'm waiting, try again. And we've been going through this, man, for a couple of weeks. We have material with Joe. Um, I have material with Joe, but me and Joe talked about. I just thought that it was inconclusive. It wasn't complete. I'm thinking we still missing 30 minutes, Joe. 30 minutes, because you want to talk to a lot of you guys, especially the young ones and the sisters. You know what I'm saying? Just about positivity and productivity, man. Unity. So we just had that conversation. I think I figured out what the problem was. We worked on it, man, for an hour. And I think I kind of, I got caught up in this, man. That's why we started late. But yeah, Joe, we're gonna do something, man, before the week is out. Like I said, I already have material content where me and Joe were talking about, numerous, a number of things. He's back, man, and he wanted to have a say, in our community as well as surrounding communities, community as a whole, to our people. So we're looking forward to dropping that before the week is out. Let's see. Let's hope that Thursday, man, it works out, man, with the new get out. Um, if not, we're gonna figure it out, man. We're gonna figure it out. That's what we're here for, to get it done. So yeah, Terrence, he's coming back. One love to you, conscious mind. H up, homie. Door number 2 is some positive life change and successful homies in Texas you could tap into with big homie, not the buffoonery talk. Yeah, I've been because you mentioned that, I have been communicating with brothers in Texas, and you know, uh, so I'm told, and this is by the way. So I'm told, when you get on the live chat, you shouldn't mention this, you shouldn't mention that, because you got people really, ready and willing to steal your ideas and da 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 da. I say, man, hey, yeah, I get it. They're gonna do that anyway. You know, they're gonna do that anyway. So I can't worry about that. I can, wait a minute, man. I want the people to know, hey man, this is what I like to do. You know, I want the brothers in Texas to know, Washington State, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New York, Delaware, all over. Hey man, we need to start just having conversations. Let's start like that. Now, if these other brothers want to sit up and say, oh, ooh, you know, and I ain't gotta say no names, let me go on down to New York right quick, you know. Let me go to Oklahoma. Let me go to Texas and holler at these brothers for under the groove, holler at them. Yeah, so be it, man. So be it. One thing I know, man, they're not going to get at them. We're not going to have the same conversations. We just not. We're just not. Like I said, I can name podcasts. I'm not going to do that. It's buffoonery, man. It's a lot of messy stuff. You always got to interject or inject that BS, man. Can't have a decent conversation without the BS. So, yeah, man, I've been talking to brothers, man. I'm going to continue to talk to brothers. But what we're pushing for is to get these brothers to come on down this way, man. Sit down. Let's chop it up. Let's do what we do best. Communicate. I'm telling you, don't nobody communicate better than us either, man. Nobody. So that is a door number 2, man. And what part of Texas, bro? Put it in chats, and more than likely I got a connection down there, man. And I'll try to link up with you, man. Just have a conversation, man. Let's see what it do, man. Boss Call said exactly, Big Bubs. Okay, we laugh from the embarrassment of disbelief. Yeah, that it be such, ignorance, abound. You know what I mean? You got all walk, all ages and stages of our lives, black people, where you see ignorance, and then be like, God dang, man, for real. Yeah, and I know some of us will laugh at it because yeah, it's just embarrassing, man. It's just and for a lot of us, nothing else we can do but laugh at it, because a lot of us want to address it. But we know, man, that individual, those individuals so ignorant, it becomes this thing now. Now I'm caught up because I wanted to just put some positivity in this brother's get down or this sister's get down. So I get it. I understand, bro. We just got to figure it out, man. We got to figure it out, man. D-Lo from Bounty Hunter Watts, man. What's up, man? What's up, bub? What's up with you, loved one? Huh? You back hanging out, huh? It's a good look, bro. It's a good look. Like I said to you last time, come on in here, man. Let's chop it up, man. Some realism, man. On that ism. Let's chop it up, man. Let's see what we could bring to the people, man. Let's see what kind of dialogue we can start, man. Yeah, Larray, man, I get it, man. But see, you just one of many. We need to get to the point where no jumper and others like no jumper get no airplay, man. That's one of the ways we're going to save our people, man. Not giving them numbers, man. They don't deserve you guys' time, man. They don't deserve them clicks. It's just my take on it, Again, man, I can speak to why I say that, but for a lot of reasons, I don't want to be interacting with that like that. You feel me? Because I don't want nobody to think that I'm fair game. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't indulge in that, but I have enough. I understand enough to the point where, man, I'm supposed to say something without incriminating people to such a degree where they feel like they got to react and become ignorant with me, but that's one of the ways though, man. Shut it down, man. Don't pay attention to it, man. There's so much more going on social media that's positive and that's productive for us. Man, it's a shame that they don't get that airtime. They don't get them numbers. They don't get them numbers, them clicks, those subscriptions, man. That's where all you guys is likes and clicks and comments, subscriptions should be going to. Not this stuff, man. Not the puppet master, man. And those who want to be like him, or those who want to work with him or work for him. Ed says, yeah, yet never see any consequences. They've been doing this for the longest time. It's been going on for years, homie. As far as social media go, I'm a baby in this shit, man, so to speak. A year and a half. These dudes been at this, man, for 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years. And it's what they know. They cool with it. Don't let them fool you, man. They cool with it. S say never seen any consequences. They've been there for the longest. All right, S. Appreciate that comment too. Tristan Reed says, shout out to China Man for 11 dudes. Likewise, homie. Shout out to the loved one, man. Shout out to China Man, man. And matter of fact, yeah, shout out, loved one. You know what's happening. Hope to link up, man. Have to sit down with you. All right, Klaus. Boy, you know a whole lot of people. They know you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Money Tree Hollins says, man. Money Tree Hollins, man. Hold on, let me read that. I see you, King. Hold on. Damn, I skipped a whole lot. I'm trying to catch up with this one. Money Tree Hollins said, the internet is that just to see how far someone would go against all their boundaries, standards, responsibilities, and hood credibility for a shock reaction. Yeah, reactionary shit. That's why it's called reactionary shit, man. And believe me, man, they go to extremes, man. They go to extremes. I just heard today, man, that brother Charleston White got shot. I don't know how true it is or whatnot, but I was like, damn, man. But a lot. I'm gonna put it to you like this: a lot of what he said is solid shit, but then be mixing that disrespect and buffoonery in there, and that's what makes it bad. That's what makes it bad. A lot of shit he tap on there, he light on, that he speak on, it's solid shit, man. But then, like I say, I don't know why he need. There's a need to put the messy shit in there, the disrespect or whatnot, man, to get his point across. I don't know. I don't know, but I think that I don't know, caught up with him. He just one example of others. It catches up with you. It catches up, man. D'Lo from Bounty Hunter Watch says, Bub, I think you need to go to FTW, Texas. Them boys said blue and yellow is Hoover colors. All right, but again, man, it's a whole lot to a whole lot, man. And that's something they'll eventually come into the know if they really, about that like that, man. They'll figure it out. And if not, hey, man, let them groove how they gonna groove. My thing is, man, what are they doing for the community? Is it positive? You know, is it positive? You know what I'm saying? Are they growing, in terms of productivity and prosperity as a result of what they're doing, man, or just more buffoonery? You know, um, more power to them, man. I just would like to know if they're adding, like I say, positivity, productivity, and prosperity to their get out. See, because to me, that's the real way, man. That's the get down, man. That's how it should be, no matter where you from. No matter where you from. Yeah, I just got word that that was the news of him, Charleston White being shot is debunked. And see, that's another reason I don't like messing around with a lot of that stuff because it's not factual. You know what I'm saying? People will say shit. They'll start a podcast, a platform, and say some shit and get hits, and they blew up. They got super numbers, went viral on some BS. Shit ain't even true or whatnot. But I was just told that that was debunked. That news was debunked, and that didn't happen. So lucky for that brother. You know what I mean? Lucky to hear that didn't happen to that brother. Like I said, I think a lot of what he says, man, is some solid shit. It's just that he mixes a lot of that with that BS, man, and you don't have to do that. You don't have to be disrespectful to get your point across. So, man, it's a blessing to know that he's all right, man. All right. Adrian Cooks, salute everyone from every game. Peace and blessings, cuz. Likewise, bro. Peace and blessings to you, Adrian. Appreciate you in the chat, man. It's a good look. Tristan Reed said, why are we so sympathetic towards the Mexican games but violent against our own? I just had I just dropped something with Sinbad from Faux Trade Gangster Crips off the east side. And that conversation came up. That topic, that issue came up. And like you, I couldn't understand, Tristan, that why would brothers, peace treaty or whatever the case may be, man, with another race before their own? That it boggles the mind, man. You know what I'm saying? It just, for the life of me, I can't understand that, because what's more important, them or you, them or us, you know. I don't get it, man. But for whatever the reason is, whatever the thinking was, the thought processes that went into that to make that happen. I mean, that's something, that they sat down and agreed upon or came to the conclusion about. I just don't get it. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it, man. For any black to do that, with another before his own. Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. All right, Adrian Cook, he wanted to get into some set conversation. Adrian Cooks asked question, but bro, what year did 7-4 start its set day? He said hood day, I said set day. Um, we're talking about, man, for real, man, early 80s, and in fact, this was before anybody was doing it, man, you know, early 80s, 81, 82. Now I've heard cats say 83, 84, whatever. Um, there's a possibility. See, I was gone. As a matter of fact, I was gone when our set day started, when 7-4 day started. I wasn't on the streets. You know what I mean? 81, I was gone. Um, But I have loved ones that I know for a fact was there on the first one, for a fact. And I'll get at him, and I'll ask him, point blank, man, what year was that? Uh, and I'm pretty sure he'll give me a definitive date, a definitive year, you know. But again, you know, that, that that's just something, cats want to debate it. Go ahead, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Uh, as a matter of debate, what we get, what do we win? What's the reward? What's the prize? You being the first, you being the first set to say you did it before Hoover, okay. And, you know, it's neither here or there, man. Not right now. Not in this get down, man. Not in terms of what we're going through, you know, in terms of what we being, affected by, man. Set days should be the last day any of us should think about some stuff, and then why was set day started? I think for us it was to honor our loved ones, those that had gone before. You know what I mean? It wasn't to honor, the 4th of July, you know what I'm saying? But hey, Poke Mitchell, what it do, loved one? Poke Mitchell podcast. He said, going against the grain exists on a high level, bub. But I'm glad to once again tune in to UTG while at the airport. Boy, shit, you making moves. That's emotion. You in motion. That's motion, man. Do your thizzle, man. Be safe, man. Safe journeys, safe travels, bro. All right? Safe travels, man. And while you flying and you doing them, and go and check out some old episodes. Got a lot of good ones, man. They got a lot of good ones. Hope everything is everything with you on that end too, bro. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, old Pope Mitchell, man. That brother, another mainstay, man. I appreciate him in the get out. And he ain't gotta be like the rest of y'all. Y'all ain't gotta, y'all can be somewhere watching that bullshit. Excuse my French, but that's true. You chose to be here, man. I appreciate it. And I'm hoping everybody in the chat seeing you guys' comments and statements appreciate it even more, man. The questions you guys are posing. I hope they appreciate it. I know I do. Door number 2 said, man, when you get time, Big Bub, send your email or contact information to line up an interview to talk off camera first. Got my word on that. Matter of fact, okay, I got you. I got you. I got your line. Don't worry about nothing. We're going to figure this one out. We're going to make it happen, homie. I love to do that. I love to do that. Adrian Cook said, what is the topic? What is the topic just came in? Hey, man, so listen. For a lot of you guys that come in, man, this is Under the Groove, man, all right? And the Get Down, man, when we do live streams, the title of this thing is Touching Bases with the People. You ain't got to be from Hoover, man. You can be a Crip from neighborhood, or blood out of Watts, Compton, don't matter. Pyru, man, gangster, don't matter. Hoover, don't matter. So come on, man, let's have dialogue. Let's chop it up, man. Let's get to some of the meat and bone shit that we supposed to be talking about on this get down called social media, man. Let's make it worth the while. You know what I'm saying? If you got something you want to put on the get down, man, and it's respectful, you're not disrespecting nobody, man. You're not blowing nobody out the water, man. You're not being snide, you know what I'm saying, insinuating nothing against nobody. You're more than welcome, man, to come in here, man. And let's talk about something, man, that has interest, that can hold interest for others. That's it. That's it. That's the topic, bro. That's the topic. Like I say, man, look at the comments, man. People coming, they got questions. And the majority, 99% are positive, productive, and they speak to prosperity. They speak to unity, man, about us, Black people. What we got to deal with, not only what we got to deal with, but how can we deal with it? How do we deal with it? How to change the face of our reality, man, what's affecting us daily, especially the young ones out in the streets who claim to be active. Conversation, man, communication, man, leads to, I think, man, this is my opinion. Communication, man, leads to resolutions. It leads to resolutions, man. Solutions. The more we communicate, the more we'll come upon or come by way of solutions, man. and resolutions to problems that we all deal with and we all face on a daily. It ain't just got to be gang stuff. So don't get it twisted. See, man, we're affected by more than just, brothers out here doing what they doing. We got all kind of stuff, man, powered against us, trying to confront us, trying to knock us down, man. It ain't just us doing this to each other. It's others, man. They do it though because they see what we doing to each other, though. That's my thought on that. But when you come in here, bro, come on. Come on, man. Let's talk about something profound. Let's put something in front of each other, man, to make us think, man, and want to act or react to some shit that's positive. All right. That's what this get down is about. That's the topic. Every Tuesday and Thursday, bro. Normally between 7:15 until whenever I get a text, a phone call from my wife saying, all right, hang up, time to go. That's how we do. All right. So you're more than welcome. Appreciate you in the get down, Adrian Cooks. Okay, so Ed said, where are the big homies / shot callers? And how can this be allowed to happen? Again, man, it's so much going on, man. You got a lot of brothers, man, who might have some say, but don't want that burden. Don't want the burden. You got to think about it like that, man. Some brothers, man, are just now living their best lives. A lot of them in their 60s and their 50s, been gone 20, 30, 40 years. Dudes would say they're trying to still figure out, man, how to deal with how the world has changed. A lot of these brothers, I said this a week or so ago, the PTSD, man, traumatized coming out and seeing this stuff, man. A lot of them are really like, damn, man, this is some of my doing. Ain't really figured out or come to terms with how to correct a lot of what they put out in the atmosphere. It's a whole lot, man. It's a whole lot. Yeah, we want to hold them accountable too, but we also have to get, there's such thing as giving people space so they can deal with the reality as they see it. You know what I mean? Some will come too. They'll come along. They'll get together. And you'll see them before long, man. Speaking truth to power, man. Let's give them that. And then, give them that time. Let's be patient, but at the same time, let's speak to them. Like you just did. Like, where y'all at, man? We need you. We need you. Because from every community, there is someone, I bet you, 5, 6, 7, 10 brothers from every one. Like I said, Crip, Blood, Hoover, Gangster, and non-affiliates. See, we always want to do this thing where we always just talking about gang bangers as if those who don't gang bang, man, are not caught up in this cycle, this culture. They got a stake in this shit too, man. See, they ain't got, they could just like the color red, the color blue, the color orange, and get caught up. They're not active. So they have a stake in this too. So we have to start allowing them to come in, man, and speak, man, to what's affecting our communities, homie. And that means just not the game bangers, but everybody in it. So we got these G's out here. We have these non-affiliates out here, man, who have something to say, who want to be involved. We just got to keep talking to them, man, so that they can break through this shell, man, of this thing, this reluctance to come and put forth, man, whatever energy, man, whatever positive energy they can give to this get out, man, because we need it. I really mean that, man. We need it. All right. And again, man, we don't always have to talk about the culture, but the culture, man, we all involved in the culture. There are different cultures other than our culture. There are other cultures, man, that affect us. Like I said, we're in this system that in and of itself is a culture. They want to call it systemic racism or whatever it is, but there's a culture. There's a certain get down that is geared towards harming us. We didn't forgot about it because we commit more harm almost to each other than the system does. But the system always is going to do more harm to us than we see, than we know. And we don't see it and we don't know it like we should, like we're supposed to, because we're distracted with this BS, man. We aren't focused on the focus. We focused on BS, man. But they there. They there, man. I know this, man. They there. They are there. And I think, man, it's a matter of us let's keep calling for them. Let's keep calling out to them, man. Y'all help bring this mess. Help fix it. You help bring it. Help fix it. Call to them. You know, because I do. I got all kind of homies. I love them, respect them. Part of this culture. Every time I see them, man, what's happening? You gonna come holler? You know, and they, man, I ain't trying to fuck that, And I'm like, hey, shit, ain't this our doing? You know, man. You know, I hear you though, loved one. I hear you, S. Clay Bombay, it's a crook and face, had one too. Crook and face had one too. Okay, Clay Bombay say, big homie, big bub, what up, man? Groove line. Last time I saw you, Big Crow funeral, man. H up, say la fo. All right, loved one. Yeah, that was a good loved one, man. Here's his brother, man. Rest in peace, Crow. Here's his brother, man. 7-4 Hoover. Stumped down, come from a family of Hoovers, man. The whole family, you know, boom. This man put that to the side. He employed Crips, Bloods. It didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. And he dealt with him like he would deal with a loved one. You know what I mean? That's how, man, with so many cats at his funeral, wasn't from Hoover, but they sit up and tell you that they share a story about Crow and how he looked out for him and how what he did for him helped not just them, but their family. In fact, man, there were Mexicans there, man. You know, tables of Mexicans. I'm saying that to say, man, see, this was a brother. See, we get caught up, man, in the BS, and I'm telling you, man, we tend to lose focus on what's real, man, what need to be applied to, you know, not just our lives, but to the lives, man, that, you know, that we touch or we're in contact with or whatever. This brother, man, he was in tune with the get out. It's a overdue, man. You know, facts. Facts. Was living his best life, man. You know, and as time came, it came, man. But you know what? The boy, the man left a legacy. And it wasn't game banging. on everything. It wasn't even game banging. His legacy is how he reached out to the people. How he touched bases with the people. Crow gonna be missed, man. Gonna be missed. Loved, man. Solid cat, man. Like I say, man, that, you know, I have a tendency, man, right with my dude. I ran the streets with. When I say that, I'm not lying. Individual, that was the truth. That's true. This brother, man, was my brother. Was my brother, man. It's gonna be missed. But he was one of the ones, man. He touched bases with the people. He said, okay, yeah, I'm a Hoover. But hold up, man. Black first. That's what he said. Brothers, sisters, if I can help, I'm gonna help them. Come on, man. More him. More him. Be where the fuck you from. Don't let that be the reason why you're not doing what you're supposed to do to help those that look like you, man. And others that don't. The man left a legacy, man. Come on. Real spit, man. Appreciate you bringing him up, loved one. Because sometimes we tend to forget those who are most important, man. You know, like I say, man, sometimes, you know, we forget to focus on the focus, you know? Good dude, man. And he's missed. I promise you he missed. Remember the player's choice. I ain't remembering nothing, homie. Clay Bombay say, remember the player's choice? Yeah, I remember player's choice, homie, you know. Matthew Clark, man. Big up, King, from Barbados. Man, big up, man. All the way to Barbados, right back at you, man. Matthew, appreciate you showing up in the chat, bro. I appreciate you showing up in the chat, man. I was just having a conversation with another lady. And this was on the customer service women. And we were just, cause the conversation, she was trying to do what she was trying to do. And you know how you just sit on the phone for 15, 20 minutes while they trying to bring up this information, help you straighten out whatever's messed up. So we just started with the conversation uh, about water, the jet skis. What you doing for July weekend? Oh man, I watched the homies on what jet skis and stuff, da 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 da. And went on from there. Oh, I did a cruise. And I said, yeah, man, White did a cruise. And next thing she, oh, I went to Barbados. It's one of the nicest places I've ever been to. I said, really? She said, yeah. She said, you ever been to Mexico? I said, yeah, I've been down there, She said, you notice how they do that? Be crowding you and you be like, I said, yeah. She said, don't do that over there. Then people respect your space. Yeah, they got stuff to sell and whatnot, but they're not in your face. She said, oh, the place is it's right. It's good. It's black people. They doing their thing. I'm saying, really? I said, me and my wife were talking about the Caribbean. We want to go to Barbados. I really want to go now. And not just because you in the get down though, Matthew. But yeah, man, shout out to Barbados, man, and hopefully, man, me and the wife can make it down there, man. We got plans to do a little more traveling. You know, we got plans. Me, I don't like spending a whole lot of money. I'm trying to be a. I got issues about spending money, but hey, shit, ain't got to spend it like I wanted, shit. But anyway, yeah, man, Barbados, that's on the to-do list. Um, man, like I said, man, peace and love, man, to the people in Barbados, man. Peace, love, respect to you, Matthew Clark, for tapping in, man. We appreciate it, man. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this Get Down, brother. Don't cost you nothing, all right? Come in with the conversation. That's how we getting down. Money Tree, man, when people really know how to stump, they know you trying to do something good. The other way, no way. For the kids and the whole community. Yes, sir. I get exactly what you mean. I'll read it again for the people. Money Tree Holland says, when people really know how you stump, they know you're trying to do something good. The other way, no way. For the kids and the whole community. Real spit, bro. Real spit. I'm, I was I was I don't know, man. So I look at this situation like this, man, and I don't I don't mince words. I don't try to hide what I did, in the past. But one thing I said to somebody was, hey man, I'm gonna go at this, what I'm doing now, the same way I went at it when I was in the streets gang banging. But I'm gonna do better than that. You know what I mean? Um, like the homie Crow. I wanna be like that. I wanna leave a legacy, bro. I wanna leave something to be remembered, to be talked about, man, something, to that can be, um, that can evolve, something that can grow as a result of, you know what I mean? So when I do this, man, I do it like, like I was in the streets, man, you know what I'm saying? But on a whole different get out, whole different mindset and plane, you know. That's it, man. Well, hey, King, I see you, bro. You see Cold Game. Peace to the guys. Like, subscribe, comment, and share the live. Like, subscribe, comment, and share it to the live, man. Hey, I got your text just now, man. Um, right quick, you know what I'm saying, man, because it's in my text. I'm gonna say this to you, man. It's just a matter of time for individuals to understand uh uh that it ain't all that. You know what I mean, homie? Just all talk, homie. All talk. So, let it do what it do, man. Um, like I said, man, the real it'll come out, homie. It'll come out. Don't worry about it. Let what they say, make the circuit. Go on and, make the circuit, man. You know, uh hit every platform if you need to. Still gonna be, what you're gonna be, it is what it is. Lady Lee Buttercup, social media is a place for a lot of people to be who they are not. It's the new Hollywood. In Hollywood, we know what's in Hollywood. A bunch of actors, you know, A lot of them ain't never been in no action-packed, real life shit with guns blazing and da 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 da. You know what I mean? You know, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's social media now. You know, it's the new Hollywood for blacks. Who have nothing better to do. And that's sad. It's sad. People are pretending to be people they are not. You know. All right, Poke Mitchell podcast. See, he said, I made myself a podcast not to get income from, but it was that my understanding about having a platform to put my experience to truth, and maybe we can learn together. Here, brother. That's the whole get down. I had somebody ask me the other day, how do I donate to your get down? You don't. I've never once. I will not. I just don't think. And like I said, I know I got a couple of homies watching. It's like, man, you damn fool. Get the money. Nah, homie, it ain't that serious. I didn't get into it for the money, homie. Not for income. I always thought that, especially when I came into understanding or came to know what my mission really is supposed to be about, it had nothing to do with bread, man. They really, man, they can't, they not can't pay me for what I need to be doing or what I'm supposed to be saying. You really can't, there's the only payment I get from that is what I'm experiencing now with you guys in the chat. That's payment, and then I have a different understanding about wealth, about money. I do. I just do, homie. I understand, man, that it don't come from money. Wealth does not come from money. That's just what we've been told, Wealth is our community. Wealth is the people in the community, not the persons, but the people in the community. That's where our wealth is. That's where it lay, homie. You know, those are our treasures, So I'm with you on that, Pope Mitchell. I started this podcast, man, not because I needed income, but because I think I want to share something with the people. And then, like I said, man, you guys can go way back to the first, second episode. I said, and I still say it to this day, I want my goal, my goal. I'm doing this to change the face of social media, man. It needs to be changed. I'm just one dude in a fight, man. Need a whole lot more. Come and get in this fight, man. Let's change this stuff, man. It should not be this. It should not be nothing near what it is, man, in terms of what the people are watching and experiencing as a result of what they imbibe and are watching. We got to change this stuff, man. Money don't do that. Money ain't gonna do it. So there they go. Clay Bombay say, you seen comment Groove Line. Not yet. I hope I didn't pass it. Hope I haven't passed it. East Bay say, criminal minded, you've been blinded. All right. All right. Carol Swan, James Cash, what it do, bro? I'm good, man. How are you today? How was your day? How was your day? Best wishes and blessings, he says, OG Bud. Man, likewise to you, bro. Likewise. Hope your day went as you thought it out, how you planned it, man. Hopefully you at home safe, man, with those who love you, man, and you getting it in, and you preparing, you getting your mind ready for the next one. If that grand rising occur, man, have at it. Take that day by the reins, man, ride it into the dirt. That's what I say, man. Ride it into the dirt, man. Shoot. Man. Akeem says, focus on the righteous, get down. Don't lose momentum. Last week, Jap spoke positive about things he'd be in the right to clown about. You followed suit and spoke encouragingly to so-called enemies. And I'm going to read that again, and I appreciate that, Akeem. So Akeem says, man, and peace to the guys, bro, for that comment. I appreciate it. Focus on the righteous, get down. Don't lose momentum. Last week, Jap spoke positive about things he'd be in the right to clown about. You followed suit and spoke encouragingly to so-called enemies. Yeah. My wife had said something to me last week. I was asked a question in the comments by somebody, and She said, man, I thought your crazy ass was gonna say some crazy shit because they don't really know it. And I was like, she said, but damn, you didn't even you just you did the opposite. You did what a man would do. You spoke positive instead of encouragingly instead of negative. Oh, and it had to do I think yeah, it had to do about the full extra brother, you know. Now, say what you what, say what you may. And for a lot of us, there's cause, you know what I mean? But damn, your hand, I done told my wife before, I said, man, and I don't know how now dumb and stupid this sound coming from me, but I told my wife, hey man, I don't want to live if I ain't got a hand. I'm serious as a big dog, man. My foot, hey man, I'm hey man, I'm gonna go under quick. I'm just, because I just love my hand. I love me. I don't know, man. And she be looking at me, man, shut the hell up. Like, oh man, I'm serious. I don't want to lose nothing. Shit. But yeah, man, yeah, it's always good, man, to we ain't always gotta, you don't always gotta belittle, berate, or put somebody down. You ain't gotta always hold anybody in disdain, man. You don't always have to do the things you know you can do if you want to do them because you can. That ain't always the way to go. You know, that ain't always the way to go, man. Sometimes, man, it's just best, man. Hey, man, moms used to say, man, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. You know? Yeah, facts. James Cash, man, he said, I got to holler. He said, I got hella love for the Hoovers, going all the way back as far as I can remember. I don't trip off neighborhoods. We all in the same game. Hoover's Hoover's got real deep LA history and lots of beautiful talent, man. And again, man, that goes for the majority of us all over. See, there's this thing. I think this is just as far as Hoover go in terms of the culture. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know what gave us the ability to just get out and do a lot of stuff that was, you look at today still exists. And I don't mean just game banging, but there's just something in us, man. But that same talent, that same potential, it's in everybody, us. And I'm telling you, this is why I say focus on the focus. Because we got stuff that's bombarding us in our face all day, every day that prevents us from being talented, from being progressive, you know what I mean? From just being innovators, just focus on the focus. We know where we from. Y'all know where you from. Hey man, that is what it is. How you put it on the map, for real. How you put it on the map? I just like to ask that question, man. There's talent everywhere, man. Talent is everywhere, man, especially amongst us. Go on and on, man. I was just looking at something, man. The way or the way in which we contribute to this civilization, to society, to its technological advance, this age we in, is astounding, man. And we don't even know the half of what our people done for the world. We don't even know. The most they tell us is I was slaves. Oh, there was Egypt, man. That was millennium ago, 2,000 years ago. Y'all ain't done nothing since then. Da, 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 da. It's bull crap, man. The thing we doing right now, this interaction we having right now, black people, cell phone, black people. It wouldn't have been, look, man, 90% of us don't even know that. The sisters and brothers created this stuff, man. The ability for us to do what we're doing right now. We don't even know it. Talent, man, we're abound in talent. We, talent out the, we have it. Come on, man. We the ones. We are the ones. And that is not braggadocious. That is not putting a 10 on a 2. I'm just telling the truth. We are the ones. And I'm just talking about this thing we interacting through. It's all us. Go on and on, man, to the break of dawn, man. Ryan Smith, man, holler to the grooves from Jersey, East Orange. I hear you, bro. Yeah, I hear you, bro. Yes, sir. Clay Bombay, Clay Bombay says, is this a pre-recording? Because I'm one of your real little homies from the sandbox to the turf groove line. This the real deal, bro. In real time, right now. Ain't nothing pre-recorded right here, man. You only get that when I'm doing episodes with individuals sitting down with me. This is live stream. This is live stream, Hoover. You know. So here you are. What can you bring to the table, man, in terms of positivity, productivity, or prosperity? That's gonna help us. Help some more young ones like yourself. Help me, shit. I want to help some people too, man. So anything I pick up from the people, it should be spreaded, shared, real spit. Neil, man, Neil Sprite, how you doing, bro? So Neil asked Bubba, he said, Bubba, when you starting the book reading segment, Thursday, man, am I everything in order? Also Thursday, we'll drop a few titles in there, and I think that whatever comes in the chat in terms of the titles we put in there will be the one whichever title has the most, that book in the chat will be the book we start with. But this Thursday, bro, we're gonna sit down and just try to be as brief as possible to talk about how the format is gonna go. You know, um, I was it was suggested that we create this whole thing, man, where we do emails and all this, and I don't want to complicate that, bro. I don't want to complicate that. I don't want to. I would not like to do it like that. I would not like to do. If you guys think that that's the way to go, then okay, come in the chat and let's say, okay, yeah, let's do it this way. This way, we could communicate. We could set up later days for certain books, whatnot, and so be it. I say we vote on it in the chat, and however many names we of titles of the books, whichever one has the most in it will be the book we start with. Um, the one with the second most will be the second book. The one with the third most will be the third book. And then it's just an easy vote, you know what I mean? Because it's in the chat. And each and every one of us can go in there and count how many times, we see whoever author in the title of that book is uh, in the chat. We'll know who is 1, 2, 3, and 4, you know? And we do this on Thursdays. So they give us a week, man, to kind of, get in, delve into the books, chapters or whatnot, and then have a discussion in terms of what we interpret the author or the writer was saying about whatever the politic is, the history is, or society is. Let's share our thoughts, man, and share what we got from it. And let's try to see if we can get something positive out of that. It's just a reading. It's a book club, man. If it blow up, it blow up. So be it. We still gonna be UTG, touching bases with the people. We probably get a name for it, but hey, man, it's gonna remain, this get down, and we'll do it Thursdays. You know what I mean? If I had to give another 30 minutes to an hour just for that get down, then so be it. You know, but I think that that's how we should go about it, Neil. When we start this get down this Thursday, you know, first thing, okay, what books are we, what are suggestions? What books should we be reading first? Whatever that number is at the end of the day, man, you know what I mean? And we could do this before we even end the chat. Okay, it's that book. We might want to give ourselves another week, man, for those who, got to wait for payday or whatever to go get that book so they can afford it, so that they can get into it, boom, 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 like I said, I read. So, I can knock a book down like, okay, boom, but everybody, we don't all have the same type of time to utilize. We can't utilize our time the same, And so this is why first we need to find out what book we're going to read. We deal with it like that, bro. Book 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe 5, because I'm sure it's going to be more than 5 titles of some very, very profound, some good reading up in there. Whatever one has the most first, that'll be the book first. All right, that'll be this Thursday. By next Thursday, we'll know what the book is. We'll know it that night, but we'll give everybody an opportunity, man. Go get this book, man. Or what they call that. You ain't got to go buy the cover, the hardback or paperback. You can get it on the Amazon, the thing they do, where they read the book to you, whatever the case may be. I forget what it is right now. And I have it. My wife have it. But this is the way we can go about doing that. All right. So to answer your question, brother, this Thursday, we'll put in the chat the book we think we should start off with. And we'll start off with that book that get the most votes or the most mentions. All right. Let's do it like that. And if you got any ideas, you guys, again, man, touching bases with the people. This is our get down, man. Put it in the comments. How we should go about doing this dizzle, because I think I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So there you go. James Cash, man, what it do, what it do. Again, he's saying, okay, love and respect to all the brothers and sisters all across the land. Stay up and stay strong. Black fist up high. One. Real stuff, man. Ryan Spiff, holler at the grooves from Jersey, East Orange. I just read that. And like I said, we'll do, bro. We'll do. Okay, Common the Goat, Under the Groove, Galveston, Texas, checking in. Fido's Hoover. Appreciate you coming in, Galveston. Appreciate you coming, the Goat, man. Appreciate it, man. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the live, bro. Let the homies down there know, man, this is how we getting down, man. Ain't no messy, ain't no reaction, man. We about the positivity, the productivity, and prosperity for our people, period, point blank. Hoovers, yes, but our people on the whole, man, just period, point blank, homie. Appreciate you tapping in, though, bro. Ryan Smith, love, man, the digital big homie. Ryan Smith, watching you while working on my PhD dissertation. Y'all heard that, right? Appreciate all you do, loved one. Did y'all hear that? The brother working on his PhD. All right? Come on, man. Come on, man. That's what's up. PhDs and engineering doctors and all this old shit, man. The hell? Focus on the focus, man. Focus on the focus. Ryan, what school are you at, man? Where you attend your education, bro? You got a dissertation jumping off, homie. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, homie. That's what we need to hear more of. That's what we need to hear more of right there, man. Brother working on a dissertation. Man, a PhD. Do your thing, man. East Bay said, do you know anybody from BSV? I got to go back, man. Like back in the day in YA, man. It was some of them bloods, they was down mugs, man. They were down, Damn. YTS, man. I don't know if the brother, if he was from BSV or T. Name was T, light skinned brother, man, at long braids and shit. I don't know if he was from BSV though. I think he was. And I know a few, homie, just slipped my mind right now. Like I say, man, I was in YA with some everybody, some everybody. Yeah, some everybody, man. So hopefully them brothers, still alive, man. And hopefully just BSV is doing good over there, man. And them brothers is focused, doing what they need to be doing, man, in terms of, prosperity, production, and positivity, man. So Terrence asks, was there any friction between early sevenfolds and eight trades, or did everyone always get along? Yeah, man, for the most part, that's what it was, man. Trey Foe, Trey Foe. James Cash says exactly, the viewers are just as bad as these hosts. It takes the audience to give these lames and manipulators their platforms. The flies always keep going to the bullshit over and over again, coming to go. If they go to the stories, they need to come to people like you or KF Mac. Okay, there you go. There you go. And I mentioned the cat, I got to give him a call, man. Just see how the brother doing. Oh, shit. Man, I called you, Kev Mac, about 2 weeks ago. You didn't answer. Somebody let him know I did try to call him. I'm gonna call his butt again. He just dropped something the other day, man. Yesterday, I think it was. James Cash. I don't know what goes on with this so-called YouTube drama. My interest only pertains to the real, not real enough channels like OG Bub's under the groove. It ain't even close. Bub on another level. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. And like I say, man, I think it's in the chats, man. You brothers is coming back. You know, like I say, you guys are a mainstay. Not only that, man. If y'all recognize like I do, every chat, every live stream, man, we get new people and they keep coming back, man. So we appreciate that, man. We appreciate that. And again, it's touching bases with the people. That's why the shit real. You know, I'm not sitting here, man, trying to shoot lugs at nobody, and ain't nobody trying to do the same in the comments and the chats, man. I think that's what makes this thing, man, worthwhile. That's what makes it worth coming back to again and again, because you never know what you might hear in terms of positivity, production, and prosperity, man. We got to do better, man. That's it. I would love for us all to do better, man. Like I said, we got a whole generation of brothers and sisters. Man, you cats that know better, man, need to come on, man. Come help, man. Come help, man. Come help set this thing right, man. Neil says the reading session should entail opening up Zoom panel, having each one read a paragraph and then discuss what was read. Okay, so don't Zoom. How many participants can call in on one Zoom conference? You know, I need to know, because I have Zoom. I've yet to use it, and I got it because I want to use it, and it's for this get down right here, this live get out. But how many can sit in on one conference call? You know, I need to know that. Well, I know my wife knows. She'll probably text me telling me. But yeah, I need to know that, bro. So that what you're saying, Neil, we'll have a, you know, I want I get what you're saying. Let's you know have boom read it out. People are involved, and we can hear them reading and exchanging what their interpretation, what they got from the passage, the chapter, whatever they read. That'd be a lot, because I anticipate. I'm willing to wager we're gonna have some people want to get down in this, man. So we got to figure out how to go about this, and that's why I say we should sit up and chop it up and figure out how we're gonna go about this. I think, let me correct myself real quick, because my wife is listening. She did mention the Zoom get out. So, baby, it ain't that I forgot you said. I just said, okay. Yeah. Neil, you didn't say it first. My wife said it first. All right. Yeah. All right, Common to Gold, you just made an explanation. You said the thing with Fort Worth blue and gold, that's they hood colors. All right, bro. Yeah, and again, oh shit. The wife say you can hold from 100 to 509 depending on subscription. So if we got 100, anywhere between 100 and 509 people, if they have a subscription to Zoom, we can be in on this get down. I'd love to see how that work, man. I would, that. All right, baby. Thank you. Thank you. I love to see how that work, man. To get 100 would be worthwhile, man. You know that'd be inspiring on me. That take us to new heights on me. That would take us to new heights, man. So Neil, yeah, we gonna have to really figure this one out, man. Because I see now this ain't gonna be no BS type get down. This got to be done, and they have to be done accordingly, done right. Chris 223, what it do, man? Good to see you, man. And he's saying, as a lot of us know, it's a lot of clickbait on the internet. Man, yeah. Make that aware, man. Speak that, man, because that's a fact, man. Frederick has to be, man. It's good to see you in the get down on the get down again, brother. Okay, hold on, Frederick. I'm gonna read your comment, man. So wife says from 100 to 509, depending on subscription. She says on your subscription, being the host. Okay, you're gonna have to explain that to me some more when I get home. Okay. My wife, man. Frederick Hasby, man. How you been, brother? It's always good to see you in the chat, man. It's always good to see you in the chat. He said, add Tristan Reed because we love everyone but ourselves. So he's responding to Tristan Reed, who made a statement. I think it was why brothers do this with everybody else and not ourselves. And that's his response to that. And Tristan, well, you guys are having a conversation. Okay, it's all good. Tristan Reed says right after that, imagine if all black communities in LA came together and protected ourselves against all enemies. Hoovers, NHCs, gangsters, Bloods, and the rest. Yeah. I don't think, can you imagine? And I don't think it would be one of them situations where anyone would want to test or try us, you know what I mean, as a whole, especially as a collective, as a community, one community, you know what I mean? I don't see that. It wouldn't be them. You know what I mean? See, and we said this before, man. It's bigger than what we think it is. And whenever we get to the point to where we're saying enough is enough, and we start to come together, we start to lock in step with one another, the fight is just gonna start. It's just gonna begin. And it ain't gonna be with the Mahindas. You know, it ain't gonna be with the Asians. It's gonna be with the system. The system. That's what y'all. I think too. When we talk about why older cats and G's ain't in to get out and trying to bring us all together, I think because a lot of them really understand that stuff, man. And there might be a certain fear because then, look, man, we witnessing these youngsters in the streets and in a lot of, in a great sense, life and death. With that, that's a whole different fight. That's a whole different get out, man. That's a fight that maybe a lot of brothers are thinking, older heads that know better, like, yeah, I'm not really ready for that. I don't know. But I have to answer your question, in terms of, the statement you made, Tristan. I can imagine it. But it won't be the enemies we think we have to protect ourselves against in the streets. It ain't them. It ain't them, bro. And this shit exists the way it does, so that in their mind they got it like this, so they don't want it, so it don't come to that. Cause that's something that could, hey man, and hopefully we can have this discussion one day, man. Just in such a way to where we just speaking truth to power, exercising our First Amendment rights in terms of how we project or how we see our future and what we want for it, what we want it to entail for us to get to where we really need to be, man. See, us coming together, there's going to be a lot of wrenches thrown into the get out, man, into the engine, to stop it. That's their doing. Now, that's just that on the surface. When it happens, and it will, do you guys' research. Go back and look at old documentaries. One in particular, Eyes on the Prize, when brothers were coming together, and damn everything else. Ours is wrong. We need to get it right. So okay, everybody locked. They're in the same, marching the same way. The majority of them thoughts are the same way, on the same get out. Go check them documentaries out, man, to see how they came at us. So that's what brothers got to be mindful of. You got to be ready, But I mean, mentally, you must understand, the politics and stuff. You got to understand the laws. You got it's a fight that I think a lot would rather not have. Like, man, I'm cool, man. I just go on no jumper, man. I'll go in there. I'll just say, man, I just say, man, all right. I don't want that problem. It's a lot to this stuff, man. It's a lot to this stuff, man, and it's serious. It's serious. This stuff is going on for a reason. It's to keep us out of the way, out of their way, out of the halls of power, out of being prosperous, out of being productive, out of being positive. It keeps us out of all the things that matter to us most. And, you know, that's the stuff, we got to get ready to fight for. You know, this fight we're dealing with right now with our own many youngsters and everybody else that's with them. That's a fight. You know, that's a fight. It's one worth having. But when we accomplish that, talking about war, because people ain't gonna like the fact that we're thinking on one plane. Look at Africa. Look at what's going on. I'll give you a good example. The Sahel states, man, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, uh, Ghana is jumping in to get out now. Don't know if Chad really want to be in it, but whatever, The people, they say, okay, enough is enough with each other. We're going to deal with those who trying to, the so-called terrorists, and terrorizing the villages, and they knocking them down. Get out the way. If you're not with us, you're against us. Dealt with them. Guess what now? Now they got the system. So no, didn't nobody tell y'all could do this? So they sending some more puppets, and Nigeria and all these other spots, man. You know what I mean? Sierra Leone, and they done, these house people. But the brothers saying, hey man, y'all with us, y'all against us, but we not backing down. This is the fight we on, man, because we understand what's at stake. Now, the people that run the puppet people are saying, hey man, y'all get your armies ready because we not having this. How dare they not pay us? How dare they not stick to the system we put in place? We not having that. Shit real, man. I'm just using that for an example. That's over there, but the systems aren't different. How France get down, man, how the European Union get down with Africa, the IMF, all that is no different than over here. Same thing. Same thing, man. I'm gonna leave it alone, man. But anyway, that's the fight coming. Comment to go said, do you know G Bulldog? You talking about Bulldog from the tray? No, I didn't. And no, I don't. So Terrence asks, what years were you gone? Where you want me to start, homie? Where you want me to start? You know, I've been in and out of juvenile hall, man. Been locked up since 14, 15, 13, 14, 15. Really started doing like time, man, in the 80 camp time, didn't get out from camp, went straight to YA, so I was gone from, let's say 80 to 84, got out 84, man, stayed out, man, maybe 40 days, maybe, went back, YTS, man, maxed out at TS 85, stayed out to 86, went back, stayed out just long enough, you know what I'm saying, to get in the game, went back, what I did, it was a 16-month prison term, got out 87, went back 88, attempted murder, boom, was gone. End up, no, I take that back. It was that, but I pleaded out, assault with a deadly weapon. Got out 91, went back 92. 93, went back 93. Gone all that time. So I can actually count how much time I did as a teenager, from a teenager to adult on the streets. How much time I did in prison as opposed to how much time I did on the streets. more time in the prison than I lived on the streets. Way more time, you know. Um, I was telling somebody the other day, I've been home 9 years. I haven't been on the streets 9 years since I was 13, 14 years old, in and out of jail. I'm here 9 years, man, living my best life. You know, I'll be 61 next month. All right. More than half my life, 2/3 of it, being locked up, going through this stuff. It took me this long to figure it out. But I had to get sat down. I had to get sat down, man, to get it. And then had to watch the world go by, watch people die, know or come to know that people I love had died just to get it, just to figure it out. You know, was fortunate enough to make it home before Mom's passed away. You know, hit me like a ton of bricks, whole life gone. Mom's always had my back, you know, but I made it a point never to ask her for dime. Don't, I'm good. I figured it out, but she was always there. Them little short letters, the little writing pad letters, man, 3, 4 pages. Look forward to that shit. You know, my wife, look forward to that shit. Gone a long time. I've been on 9 years, man. I'm not supposed to be home till next year, 2026. But hey, gone a long time. You know, yeah. And now we got young brothers going through this. I just saw something today. A young brother get 144 years. Out of the 50s, man. When young neighborhood brothers. 144 years, man. Did the shit. He did the crime when he was 16. Come on, man. That's the type of shit we need to be trying to avoid, man. These brothers having to go through or endure, these families and shit. You you that's it, bro. You gotta wait 30 years for some laws to change for you even see daylight. By that time you'll be down there 50, you know? So anyway, man, you guys, Tristan Reed, man, said, Bub, you should bring Cartoon Fire Trainer show. He's a solid dude. Yeah, man. We was in YA together, YTS, man. Yeah. His homeboy Bull Capone was in Nellis together. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm not averse to that, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, Matter of fact, Bull had set something up for us to, sit down together. And, it was on me because, I didn't have my shit together at the time to where my time, it didn't allow for me to do some things I wanted to do with certain brothers. You know what I mean? But that brother's more than welcome to come and sit down, man. I like chopping up with him anyway, Yeah, real spit. Okay, Smitty G says, so agree with the way Gumby approached Adam. All right. Everybody has their perspective. We respect that. Neil said, let's get the likes up for this type of positive energy, man. Yes, yes. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this live, man. Let's get it in, people. Wild Bunch, Lemon Deuce Hoover, Bub. When Baby Charles, the big homie, said, when Tony Stacy came, can we I'm gonna do this again, brother. My bad. Wild Bunch, Lemon Deuce Hoover. Bub. When Baby Charles, the big homie, said, when Tony Stacy came, we thought it was going to get better and change the game. How did Tony feel about that? Um, and I said this a little while ago. I've said this on previous lives, man. A lot of these brothers, man, just they still struggling with what's going on, man, because they ain't had that's not how they left it. A lot of them still, like I say, they struggle with what's before them, man. They that when they get out. A lot of them struggle with trying to understand or understand why it is the way it is, especially with Hoover. You know, some they, you know, they put their blood, sweat, and tears in. You know what I mean? They time, their lives. Um, it fucks with him. It messes with him, man. It really does. You know. And I talked to the G homie, man. You know, it messes with him. You know, he not the only one. There are other G's, man. They just like, all right, man. You know, it affects them in profound ways, man. I'm not gonna get into, but hey, man, these dudes are affected by this stuff, man. They don't appreciate it. You know what I mean? They love the homies though. You know, it's where they come. This they tribe, man. As much as it is the young ones. You know, so yeah. He think there needs to be a change. You know, he agreed with me on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm only able to say that because I talk to him and he tells me. Yeah. Send shouts out to baby Charles, man. Love you, bro. Yeah, man. Hey, Al Thomas, man. Again, bro. All love and respect, homie. Yeah, it's not something you got to do. Like I said, man, to the people, I mean that shit, man. Y'all ain't got to send a dime to this get down, homie. Just come in and hang out. Let's chop it up, man. Let's get to what we need to be discussing. You know, let's straight up, man. Ain't no fees, ain't nothing, none of that. The fact that you come every Tuesday and Thursday, I've seen you, bro. You in here. I said, man, I know what my wealth is, homie. I know it. Trust me, man. And I say that to all y'all. I mean that shit, man. I'm not gonna ever get to the point, hey man, no, 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 no. You ain't gotta do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We can raise a fund. We can start a fund, man, and we can find somebody to handle that we can all trust, and that fund to go to somebody who need it. A mother or a father got to take care of them babies and need help, man. Real spit, man. We got to really start thinking about this shit. This shit's serious, homie. It's serious, you know. But all love and respect, homie. Don't do that no more. Don't do that no more, homie. We good. We good. Instead of doing that, like I said, man, like we doing this book club thing, let's figure out, man, something how we can do that, man. And we pool and make it go to somebody who doing what they supposed to do, but man, getting at every stop, they're getting knocked down. They need some help. Let's do that for them. You know, if this thing ever blew up, man, trust and know. I know what to do. I know what to do with some dollars, man. I know who to give them to. You know what I'm saying, bro? So yeah, man, all love and respect, homie. Don't do that no more, though, Al. Don't do it. But he says, man, there are a lot of good job openings at the current moment due to the recent immigration raids. Real spit, y'all. Start thinking about that. A lot of warehouse jobs, all kind of stuff, man. And he mentions it: warehouse jobs, construction jobs, etc. We need to get the youngsters involved in the workforce. Real shit. The shit is open back up for us. We have to take advantage of it, man. Get that thumbs up right there. We have to take advantage of it, man. And that, that comment in and of itself, I ain't talking about what you did, Al, but what you just said, again, that's gold, homie. And this is what we have to understand, man. We have to understand how to put something before the people that's rich. You know what I mean? So, let's go. Yeah, man. If we're not willing to go after it and work, come on, man. It's gonna sit there for somebody else to come get, man. And here you know, conscious mind, man. On another note, white farmers are losing their farms. I think we should push the young to enter the field of agriculture. We need to own our own land, become more self-sufficient. I just told you about the brother in Africa, Ibrahim Traore. They growing their own food now, bro. 2 years ago, they couldn't grow their own food because European Union, those who run the system wouldn't sell them the seeds. And if they did, they had to sign an agreement that when they grow the product, the food, they ship it out and then they'll ship it back to them and sell it to them. They are now self-sufficient, where they grow their own food. They teaching them agriculture and shit. There's nothing wrong with it. I think there's only something wrong with it when you're not doing it for you and yours. That's why that's my stance on that. Yeah, I agree. I tell the white man, we're looking at trying to, get us 20, 30 acres of land. Hey man, I can't wait. I'm gonna grow my own food, homie. I want to show the grandkids how to grow food, how to be agriculturists. You know what I mean? How to grow and provide for themselves, homie. Come on, homie. That's the way. Because I'm tell you, look, man, when the shit hit the fan, all they got to do is tell farmers, don't ship no food to that supermarket over there. You starving now. You starving. Got all these open fields on the set in everybody's community, all these open lots. Ain't nobody buying them. These dudes supposed to have money ain't buying these lots. And using these lots, you can grow food in these lots, man. Community gardens and shit. You can do that. And you provide that food, man. Of course, you got to watch it. But that's part of the get out. But that's just a start in terms of agriculture. You could teach the youth how to grow food, man. Have them understand how that process works. We grew up like that, bro. Again, mom's was a Panther. Excuse me. We had a big backyard. I learned how to grow carrots, okra, tomatoes, Brussels, zucchini, squash, all that shit, green onions, man, potatoes. I used to love that shit. I was a kid, and still I was on dirt bikes. Now this right before I was really in the streets. I ain't forgot that shit. I ain't forgot it, man. So yeah, that's some good insight right there. That's a good idea, man. We need to have our own, man, to where if something went down, we ain't got to worry about starving. We ain't got to worry about nobody cutting off our food source. Think about that shit. Land is cheap in Georgia. That's Conscious Mind. He's sending a shout out, man. He's saying basically land is cheap in Georgia. I think for the most part, land is cheap down south, man. You find the right bit of land, Neil said, Bubble, don't forget Big Nut Man 1, straight leader, family man, and provider on the set. HIP, man. You already know. Johnny was the boy, was the man. That's the homeboy, man. A lot of good brothers, man. Gone. Man. Yeah, they did, man. All right, Clay Bombay, man. All love and respect, homie. H is on me. Trey Foe, man. We'll holler, all right? Stay safe, man. Stay focused. Stay focused on the focus, bro. All right? And by the way, man, I'm gonna say that to the rest of the folks, man. It's time, man. I got to get where I'm supposed to be. For everybody that came into the chat, man, I appreciate you guys coming, man. There's so much, man, to be discussed. There's so much, man, that we can share with one another, man. There's not a lot of time, but we need to, whenever we come on this Get Down, man, let's be mindful we're on the Get Down, man, on the platform where we can discuss whatever needs to be discussed with the people, man, without fail. You don't have to worry about, man, your question, your comment, your statement being looked down upon, man, as long as it's respectful, as long as it's peaceful, man, prosperous, positive and full of productivity. That's what the Get Down is about, man. You touching bases with the people, man. That's it. That's all. And man, it's always, man. Here's the thing, and I say this, man, because it's from the heart, it's from my soul, man. Love yourself. Love yourself, man. You don't love you, you can't love me, man. You can't love the brother that's gonna need you one day, man. That sister, man, that needs you, that's standing next to you. If you don't love you, you can't love no one else, man. But you got to love yourself, man, in order, man, to expand, man, grow to love other people, man. That's how we're going to get this shit right, man. Start first, acknowledge that you love yourself. All right? Love yourself, man. Love one another, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other, man. Power is in the people. Don't think that it ain't, man. Especially us. Just look at us. Ain't nothing, you know, man. Kendrick Lamar did that, man. They not like us. Ain't nobody like us. Nobody is like us. I mean that, man. And you guys should know that, you know, and hopefully we get to the point where we start expounding more on what that means, man, and how to identify exactly what the hell we talking about. You have been, you are, and you will be under the groove. Again, power's in the people, man. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. One love.